be a different type of video. It's going to be a lot more serious because this is an entry for Meganheartsmakeup's contest, which is high school advice and talking about what you did in the past. And since I am 20, I am actually in like my third, almost to my fourth year of college. So I've been out of high school for a while. I graduated in '08, but truthfully, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about high school, but sometimes the problem doesn't start in high school, it starts in middle school, which happened to me. First I'm going to tell you what happened to me, and then I'll go on into exactly tips and whatnot. What happened to me is that when I have to say it started in 6th grade. That year, a girl did not like me. She started rumors just because a guy didn't like her and liked me, but I was not very interested in guys at the time because I was young. But yeah, she started rumors. The school ended up, a lot of cliques ended up going against me. I wasn't really accepted, and they kept bullying me, saying they're going to beat me up, that they're going to jump me. Yeah, so I went through a lot of issues because of it. It does really affect the person at that young age. When you're in 6th grade, you would think that people would be so nice to you, but sometimes they're not, and I get it, you know. Sometimes you don't like a person just because you don't like a person. It doesn't have to have an exact reason why you don't like them. So this kept happening, even until 8th grade. It continued to happen to me. And I thought, yay, I'm going into high school, you know, it's going to be different. But when I got into 9th grade, the same group of people kind of followed me into high school. And that really sucked for me because I tried my best to have my friends, which I didn't have that many friends in middle school. But when I got into high school, I got a few more. But then again, the cliques started going on, and she kind of turned everyone against me again. But then one thing that I really do regret doing was I tried to fit in. Just like everyone else, I tried to fit in. I tried my hardest. I changed my hair. I tried makeup. At that time, I didn't wear makeup, but I tried liner, and they still made fun of me. And they only let me in the group basically to make fun of me and for me to do stuff for them. And I really regret that the most because I shouldn't have gone through that. And then not only did that, like, physical and verbal abuse, then what happened to me was cyberbullying. In our high school at the time, they had to come to our school and discuss it because it happened, and people were throwing my name in, saying that I was a lesbian or things like that. But then again, I also, you know, had to kind of push through it, and it's kind of hard to do that on your own when everyone kind of turns against you. In 9th grade, I did find my best friend from 9th grade, and she has been my best friend ever since. She was there with me through everything because she was going through the exact same thing, and we basically grew up together, not only physically but emotionally and through all the issues that we have gone through. Okay, so in that grade, being bullied then also led to self-esteem issues. So I had a lot of self-esteem issues. I had a low confidence level, and you might not be able to tell by now, but or from how I look, but it really does affect the person so much. Because anytime anyone talked about weight, I was pretty a skinny kid. Like, if you look at my pictures, but for some reason I was called fat, frizz head, all these things, and it really did affect me, so that when anyone ever talked about my weight, I would just break down and cry. When anybody ever said anything, like even in the house, or like they were just joking around, it really hurt. and I couldn't distinguish between a joke and like reality. So then I finally moved because I could not take it anymore. I asked my parents to move, so we did move to Florida. And in Florida, I have to say, I made the best friends of my life. Still with my best friend Casey, but I made so many new friends. And in that school, they actually accepted the way I am. Because in the previous high school, they didn't accept me. But when I got out of the state, a lot of people did accept me for who I am. And I didn't have to try to fit in. I could just be myself, which was an amazing thing for me, which helped me grow and helped me stand up for myself like before I would never. I just said, oh, let me just ignore it. But that is how I found out that, honestly, not everyone's going to like you. Not every experience you have in high school is going to be great, because you would think so. And also, once you graduate, I graduated with so many friends. And even when I got into college, in college, it's going to be so much better. At least in the sense of there's no cliques. All these cliques, in the end, it all goes away. It's not always so cliquey. Like, you're going to have a group of friends, but it's not going to be like, oh, this group is the losers or whatever, because in college, no one cares. Everyone just accepts everyone for who they are. Like, you have your group of friends, I have my group of friends, but what I used to do is I used to not really be in a clique. I kind of traveled in that school, in the second school I went to. So it wasn't always with the same people, because I loved being, I was a part of the volleyball team, I was a part of track, I was a part of, like, so many different types of things that it really did help me in the future. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, now that you know my story, I'm going to look at my computer and I'm going to read some questions that were left. I only took the first few ones that I could find that really stood out at that point. Now there's over 4,000 and I'm sorry, but I can't get to everyone's, but if you guys do have a question, leave it down below and I'll try to help you out and give you advice as much as I can. And one thing I did notice, a lot of it had to do with boys, family, being bullied, and also friends turning their backs on you. So, alright, my first question is, my question for people out of high school: how do you balance between academics and social life? I find it really hard because it is quite impossible to do it well and hard to balance. I tend to be more on the academic side right now. Thanks. That comment was left by Tic-Tac-Toe506. With balancing academics and social life, I have to say, when I was in middle school to my high school, when I balanced at the time, when I was still on this side, not in the second high school, I was more towards academics the whole time. I was in academics the whole time. I did some sports, but I had to try to figure it out. Like, I kind of thought academics honestly will help you in the future. And your social life, yes, have friends and whatnot, that's great. They're not the ones that are going to be pushing you through. If you do surround yourself with good friends in your social life, that are really, really good friends, that are kind of in the same, they want to do good in school, and, you'll have that amount of friends. You don't always have to try to, push your school aside, because that will affect you in the future. Honestly, it will. Alright, next question is, I am a senior in high school and I have changed friends so many times, it seems like throughout these 4 years. What advice can you give me and younger girls so we can choose good friends the first time? The girls I associate myself with have changed because I've gotten stabbed in the back so many times. What advice can you give me and other girls to protect ourselves from girls like this? Please help. That is from Allivy, ALLIEV 2011. Choosing friends is a very hard thing. I would tell you guys to really look at your friends and see how they behave, because if they're a negative influence, or the things they do can really tell you so much about a person, not just by what they say. Because just like the saying is, action speaks louder than words, because they really do. Like, your friends could say, "Oh, I promise, I won't tell anyone," and then later on, you find out they told like the whole school, they told a few people. Um, you can even see if they've talked about other people behind their backs and spreaded rumors. Like, you can really tell if these girls are, your friends and whatnot. Like, my best friends, I have a few, but like the one that I started off with, like, we stood up for each other. So many people like would talk bad to each other, like to one another, like in front of one of us, and one of us will stand up for another. Like, you just have to honestly find girls that have things in common with you, not just because they're popular. Okay? That's as much as advice I can give you on that subject, because it has happened to me. I've been stabbed in the back before by girls, but I've learned that the girls that I do hang out with, if I look at the way they act or what they do in their, in the social life or in school and whatnot, you can really tell how they are going to be towards you. Alright. Another question is, I am a freshman in high school. There is a lot of drama, friend drama going on. I basically have two groups of friends, one which I have known for a long time and one which I have known for the past year. They are all great friends, but there are misunderstandings between them. My older group of friends don't like it if I hang out with my new friends. They don't interact with each other a lot, and it frustrates me at all times, and it has resulted in various arguments. I don't want to lose any of my friends. By Zany Ruby 12. Alright, with that situation, you are going to grow, and as you grow and you go into high school, you are going to have new friends, and it really does happen where you can lose in contact with your old friends. But if you truly want to stay in contact with both friends, they might not like each other because there are two different groups of people. But you yourself just try and hang out with them. Like, they are gonna, if they don't want you to go be with a group of friends that you just know for like the past year, honestly, if they were your true friends, they wouldn't be making you decide or telling you not to hang out with those group of people. Like, you have the right to have any friends that you want, be in any group. That's how I was. I wasn't stuck in one group. I had various groups, and they might have not liked each other, but all I knew is, like, I was friends with all of them. I didn't have to decide whether I was friends with them or friends with them. You don't want to kind of isolate yourself into just one group. You should really, truly, especially in high school, spread out and get to know all different types of people, because there are really great people out there. Alright, so the next question is, I fell for a guy who liked me back, but it turned out he liked my best friend too. And now they've been dating, or they've been together for 6 months. She doesn't know how I feel about him, and for some reason he's being really cold towards me. Any advice on how to move on? AKA Emma Music. Okay, Emma Music. And for anyone else that's questioning that, it happens when a guy likes two of your, it could be your best friend. The only way to move on, I'm not going to be, so many girls at that age always said, oh, just find another guy, and forget about him. It's going to take time to move on. It does. That has happened to me as well. So it is going to take a while to move on. You just have to really be with your girlfriends. It's going to bother you. And if she didn't know how you felt about him, that isn't your best friend's fault. If he did and he didn't say anything, that's kind of messed up, but what are you going to do, honestly? He's been with her for 6 months. The only way to move on is, hang out with your friends, Go to different places, meet new people, and like, don't worry about dating at the moment, because honestly, there's, if you look for it and you look for someone, it's not going to turn out the way it should if it just happened on its own. Because sometimes you always look for the same type of guy, and then they kind of hurt or break your heart. I know this is kind of out of the question as well. Like, it's not all about the same question, but I just wanted to put that in there. Alright, next question. It says, so I am in high school and really want a job, but it seems like no one wants to hire someone that's young. Also, I'm not sure it'll affect my grades a lot, so I'm kind of iffy. You're all you can be. In high school, I know a lot of jobs don't accept you unless some jobs 16, some jobs 17. I started my first job at 17. I was, I believe, a senior in high school. I was also young to be a senior, so, some of us are younger than most, but I also got picked on about that. But jobs can really affect you. If you really do want one or need one, get a summer job and see how that works out for you first. But if you want a job during school hours or during the week and whatnot, I would try it. Try a part-time job at first, like a small one that, you have shifts, because it can really affect you, because then you're going to be all focused on work, and then you're going to start losing the, ambition and the focus of your schoolwork and your tests and your exams. My friends have done that, and they ended up failing a lot of their classes, and they got left back, which I do not encourage for anything. So I would say try a part-time job, maybe during the weekend, and see how that goes for you, and then work onto it. But if you do notice that you're starting to have a harder time focusing on your schoolwork, then I would have to say, you're going to have to either do only weekends or just not work at the moment. Alright, the next question is, so I live in San Diego and I'm going to be moving to Sacramento this summer. And since I'm going to high school and I know no one, I'm scared and I'm going to have no friends. She's scared that she's not going to have any friends. And her question is, how do I make friends? And this is by Little Miss Key 2417. Okay, how do you make friends? Be yourself. That's plain and simple. Honestly, just be yourself. Because the people that love you or like you for who you are, those are the type of friends you want to have. I moved plenty of times since I was little. I've gone to many, many different schools. And I had to kind of restart every time and make friends. So after that, my first high school experience, when I went to the new school, I was like, this is going to be a new start for me because no one knows me. And I honestly can be myself and see who honestly likes me for my personality and who I am. Because that's the type of friends you want. That's how you know those are good friends for you. It's if if they accept you and you know that everything's it's fine. There's not going to be any drama. High school does come with drama. I don't want to say it doesn't, because it really does. But if you try to avoid it, it's better for you. But yeah, just be yourself. And the people that like you for who you are the friends that you should have. Alright, next question is, there's this girl that goes to my school and she victimizes people and I'm her latest victim. She is constantly putting me down and trying to make friends turn against me. I know that I should just ignore it, but it's extremely hard, especially as she is distracting me from my education and other girls are coming up to me and asking me why she hates me, and I have no clue what I've done to her, and I haven't done anything to her. Maddie Babes 95. Alright, I would say, honestly, like, I would tell myself if I could go back, I would tell myself, like, stand up for yourself. say something to her. Ask her, why are you mad at me? What did I do to you? And just really stand up for yourself. Like, I know my parents used to tell me, just ignore it, just ignore it. But after ignoring it for a while, it does really affect you. So just stand up for yourself. I would tell myself to stand up to myself and ask her, like, what the heck is her problem? Not like that, but much nicer. And just find out what's going on. Like, why is she mad at me? Or, like, basically just say, you know, this has to stop. Because everyone always says, oh, you can go to the principal or you can talk to somebody. I've done that, and I spoke to my teachers. My teachers did nothing at that first school. I spoke to the principal. She did nothing. And my mom noticed, you know, what was going on, and I talked to her about it, and she tried to tell me to stand up for myself, but I didn't. And I should have. When I went to the second high school, I stood up for myself for everything, and no one ever bothered me. No one ever tried to bother me because I stood up for myself. And I know that sometimes adults don't listen, but first try to go through the adults by saying, okay, this person is bothering me and whatnot, or she's picking on me, or like she's bullying me, like, you know, I haven't done anything. And if not, you're gonna have to really stand up for yourself because no one else can do it for you. That is my advice to you. Like, you really have to stand up for yourself. That's the only way, because I could stand, like my sister, she was older than me. She was a grade older. So I had older friends, but the kids in my grade for some reason didn't like me. But she used to fight my battles for me, and there came a time where, you know, honestly, no one else can fight your battles but yourself. Alright, Alright, so it says, hey, I'm in middle school and I have plenty of drama and all of the typical stuff that goes on in a teen's life. But the thing is, I really want advice on is talking to my mom about things. I know sounds a little weird. My mom and I get along, but we just don't talk about anything like boys, school, drama, etc. like all my other friends and their moms do. And I really want to know how to start a conversation because she doesn't know. She's like, please, please, somebody reply. It would be a help out a lot. It would help out a lot. CD Forever 4. Okay, CD Forever 4. I have a problem with talking to my mom. In middle school, I really just had a problem. Like, we get along and whatnot, just like you did. But I always had this problem about, like, opening up to people. The only way to start a conversation, honestly, is just say, hey, Mom, I really need to talk to you about something. Tell her, or try. Like, you have to try. Because if you don't try, then you can't really, you know, blame your mom or anything. Because, you know, you have to at least give her a chance to try to help you. And she's probably been through everything as well. But you just ask her and ask, you know, what, like about boys. Mom, there's this kid that I like, and, you know, you have to figure out what you can talk to her about, and you should be able to talk to her about anything, but I know some parents, it's really hard to open up about everything, but try to open up as about much as you can. Just sit down. I really need to talk to you about something, you know. It's about school, or it's about a boy, or it's about my friends. Like, that's the only way you can really try it. And that's the only advice I can really give you, because that's how I did it. Alright. Alright, the rest of the questions that I saw were basically about weight and self-esteem and how to focus, or they don't feel smart enough. With studying, I'm going to tell you, I was one of the lucky ones where I can open a book and just know the stuff. Like, I didn't have to study as hard, but my sister did. And I understand it does get hard. But you should never give up. And if you really do need those extra hours of studying, or, you know, you're going to have to do it. one great idea I would have for you is study groups with people that really study, not with people that are just joking around. If you have a group of people that really study and you really need help or you really need to focus, that's the best way. Some people are visual learners. Some people just have to read by themselves. I am a visual learner, and I love working in groups because I can get others' opinions. So that would be a great thing to do at that time. And that's what I used to do. For self-esteem, I had a lot of self-esteem issues, as I told you in my story. I thought, I'm fat. Every time someone said get on the weight, and then they started talking about my weight in front of me, I would break down and cry. But you just have to turn that around. I have to say, usually when you get out of the place that you've been so long, and you find a friend that maybe she's going through the same thing, and if you guys can help and support each other, it's the best thing you can do. That's what I did. With me and my best friend Casey, we went through all of this together. We cried together. But we kind of helped each other grow, and we helped each other realize we don't need anybody's, acceptance. We truly can be we can be what we want to be. We can be as cool as we want to be. No one really can decide that. That's such an opinionated thing, popularity. It's better known as well known. I would say it's not really popularity. You're just really well known. Because I hung out with the nerds, as people call them. I was considered a nerd. I couldn't dress. I never did makeup. I always had my hair down in a ponytail. I never did my hair. I was really a big tomboy, and people made fun of me for it. But yeah, I just say really stand up for yourself. Have that support system that you do need, because you are going to need a support system. You cannot do this journey on your own. You can try, but it's going to be hard. And I know how it is, and I can even show you when this was with my hair all done, back in the day. And even at this was the school that I went to, and I had such a hard time adjusting, and then I was never really that happy. And then when I got into college, into my second high school, I had so many friends, and I was so happy, and you can tell the difference between a child's or a teen's happiness from one place to another. You can tell that if someone's going through something, and if you can help them, why not? Over here, I had so much fun, and you can tell, I was so much more into the sports. I was so much more into clubs and, little skits and everything, because I felt happy. And you can tell if someone's not going through it so strong. So if I could help anyone, if anyone has needs advice, ask me. I've been through a lot. I have matured so much from the past, and I love helping others, and I love helping, I'm the big sister for all my friends, all my young friends, because I have friends like Riley and my friends Amy, and they have gone through so much. I knew them when they were freshmen, and I was a senior, and I have helped them through so many things, and I'm their big sister, because I honestly always want to make sure all my friends are doing really, really well. Alright, so that is my advice to all of you girls. If you do need advice, let me know down below. At least my friends have told me I give great advice. I think about everything logically, but at the same time, I know how it was. So I am always there for you guys. And basically, the letter to me would be to stand up for myself, to not always want to fit in, because being myself is great. And being who you are is the best thing you can do, because that's how you find true friends. I would say focus, but I focused during all school, and honestly, once you get out, once you get into college, it's gonna be like a completely different world. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it seems like some of the kids that came out of high school and got into their first year of college, sometimes, like at my college, these kids still act like they're in high school, and they bring some of the drama, but at least I can tell you, for, like, you know, all of us that are a lot older, like, after you get through your first semester, when you get into your second semester, you're going to notice, like, not everyone's that way, and that a lot of us are very accepting of everyone, and that there's not so many cliques. So just go with an open mind. You and your best friend might be going to college together, but then, you know, you guys separate, or you guys are friends with others. Just open up and get to know everyone, because it is a great bunch of people out there that you and they would be lucky to, you know, meet. So that is my advice to you guys. This is my entry again for Meganheartsmakeup, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. Also, you know, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Let me just throw that in there. But yeah, I love you guys, all of you, and no matter what anyone says, you're beautiful. And all of you, even if you're guys, you guys are handsome and deserve so much. Alright guys, bye.